Got another product in from Autosaver88 Amazon store. Radiator for this 2004 Silverado 4.3 liter automatic trans. First thing you want to do is unbox it. Make sure you got the correct part. Make sure it looks the same everywhere. We got trans cooler lines right there. Got the drain on the other side. We got the brackets that hold it up. And if we come over to our radiator, looks like the right one. Always check your parts before you start tearing things apart, guys. And we're going to start off with draining this radiator. The only thing we've done so far is take this shroud off, a couple of plastic clips down the line. Here it is right here. And we're going to do this without the hoist today because we really don't need it. Your clips are going to pop up and then out, just like so. That's locked in. This is unlocked. Our first step is going to be to drain the radiator. This radiator has a broken drain down there, so we can't drain it that way. So unfortunately, we got to come down to this lower radiator hose, and we're going to start draining from there. Sucks when you have to do it that way, but you just do. I've found the easiest spot to come through for this hose is up underneath the vehicle that way to get to that spring clip. So we're going to go ahead, get that clip off, get that clamp off of that lower radiator hose, and get her drained carefully and slowly. You don't want to rip the hose off right away because then it's going to come pouring out. Let's get our drain bucket. We're done draining down here. Let's move over to the upper hose. Flathead screwdriver on this one, or an 8mm. Somebody's replaced the clamp before. So we're just going to take that off, get our upper hose out of the way. We're going to push our clamp back, spin our hose to break it free, and pull backwards. And we can just set this guy with a bungee cord, or if we can jam it in there, back there. Now it's time to work on these clips on the fan shroud. Just took the first clip off right there. These little pliers are super handy. They're made for these clips. You just kind of grab them and pull, and it brings them out. You can use a flathead screwdriver and some pliers, but highly recommend these. Let's get the two off from the other side, and this fan shroud will just come straight up once we get that bolt off and that bolt. 10mm. That one clip there is giving me a heck of a time. So I'm going to take off this hose here, go into the reservoir, and that transmission line before I take that off. So we're just going to squeeze with our pliers, pull this clamp back. These transmission lines have a little black cap over them, and then there's a little C-clip right in there. My favorite tool is to use a pick. And these can be rusty sometimes around these parts. Get the end of the clip with your pick. Maybe spray it down with some blaster. There we go. It's starting to move for us. Starting to move. Jamie's over there working on a project. And the clip's still on there. See, it fits right into these, and you don't want to drop them unless your radiator comes with a new clip. There it is. Now that that clip's off, we can give a little wiggle jiggle, and our transmission line's out of the way. Now we can get straight down on that plastic clip. Let's pull our shroud right out. Set it to the side. Here's our lower shroud. It's clipped in on both sides. Just comes right out. And we'll kind of just push it down and out the way for now. Got a little crud right there. All right, so same story with the lower transmission line. Let's go ahead and get that little clippy out of there. Pull that line out. Bada boom. Easy enough, right guys? And now I believe we got our 13 millimeter hold downs here. We're gonna take those out. Once you get those two 13 millimeters off, note you will lose trans fluid. Make sure you're catching that. This bushing is stuck right here. And that's okay. We'll figure that out in a minute. This is how the bushing's supposed to look. It should flop forward, and then you can just pull it right out. Ooh, and check out that mud dauber nest. I think that's what they're called, mud daubers? Mud gobbers? Something like that. I don't know. Check it out. Pretty cool. All right, she's coming out. New radiator, old radiator. Typically on almost all radiators, you got to take these bumpers off. Sometimes there's little clippies in there. See that little tail? You gotta take a little screwdriver and press that tail in so it unclips off of here. I actually prefer this style because they don't fall off while you're trying to put it in the vehicle. So you gotta take those off. And you can see how it kind of snaps into the new radiator. Those are your little bump stops for the bottom of the radiator. Make sure our valve's all the way closed on our drain. And they were nice enough to provide new clips. See how they're already installed in there? So all you have to do is press your trans lines in there and they'll snap. They'll kind of expand and lock in. So you're gonna wanna make sure the ends of your transmission lines are nice and clean. You see the flare, that's what it locks into. So those clips will kind of expand over this taper and then lock in. So we'll clean those ends off a little bit so they snap in easily. Time to put her back in. We're gonna line these bumpers up with the holes down there. Watch out for the trans line on the passenger side. Swing her out of the way. Here we go, we're all lined up.
Yep.
Cool.
Some room for adjustment there if you need it.
Nice. We got our bushings exchanged over. Started these 13 millimeter bolts. Jamie's down there with the special spring clamp tool. He's gonna put that lower radiator hose back on. After we get that hose back on, we're gonna snap in these trans lines. That clamp can be a real pain, guys. If you wanna switch over to that style of clamp, like somebody did previously on this vehicle, feel free. Time for that trans line.
Yes, sir. Just press right in, eh?
Yeah, give it a little wiggle jiggle until it kind of gets you a click. I think I felt the click. It doesn't pull back out. Good. I'm talking right into my camera right now. And then put that black protector over it. Ooh, I was shaking a little bit. All right, let's go. Get our fan shroud put back together. We're gonna clip in the bottom into these ears, there and there. Got the upper radiator hose connected. Hose right here connected. Trans lines on. We are good to go. We're gonna be throwing a new shroud and clutch fan in this bad boy too, but that's for another video. We're all hooked up, guys. So just like you took it off with your shroud, go into the little grooves with the bottom half, the top half bolts in right there and there, and then get your little clippies in there. Took some of the clips here. Little retainers. Put your cover back on. Then it's time to fill it up with coolant. This one takes Dix, cool. It'll say it right there on your cap. So we're gonna start filling this up until she's full. Runner, refill, drive it down the road, get it up to temperature. Once it's up to temp, we're gonna park it, let it totally cool off, top off as needed. Probably do that one more time. That should get all the air out of the system on these. Never really have a problem with these trucks getting the air out of the coolant system. And there we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll catch you next time. Oh yeah, guys, don't forget to check your transmission fluid afterwards. Go for a drive. Get it warm. Shift through all the gears. Park on a level surface. And your dipstick is right here. Little red dipstick. Always double check that. You do lose a little bit of fluid.